Good evening, Rov.
How's it? How are you? How's everyone?
Oh, fine, thank you, Rov. How are you doing?
Baruch Hashem, what's news? Everyone okay?
Everyone is okay. Thank God, thank God.
I'm just admitting everyone. I'm going to put myself on a video. Okay, now I'm on video. I'm admitting everyone.
Hi, Rabbi. How are you doing?
Hello, Brian. How are you?
We good. Sorry, we're missing you, but we've arrived there. We're in Belita at the moment for the next week.
Enjoy it. How's the weather?
It's been good. Very nice. Thank you. It's been wonderful. So I'm back online now. Look forward to your share.
Good, 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 good. We have Dr.
My
Les
wife
with. Yes.
and Glenda's also listening.
Sorry?
I say Glenda's also listening.
Oh, hello, Glenda. How are you?
Hello, Rabbi.
How are you
Hi,
doing?
Rabbi. Good, thanks. And you?
I hope that you enjoying the Belito.
Yeah,
the hot
thank you.
weather.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. It's
Thank you
lovely
for
here.
joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I always listen to you on a Sunday and a Thursday with Brian.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
That's very nice. Thank you, Bryony. Okay,
Very well.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. We have Dr. Les on the line. So Dr. Les will the news about Eretz Israel. Bravo, Dr. Les.
Okay, so we've come out of the lockdown. So for the first time, I walked down downtown Yerushalayim on my way home, and the shops are open, and people are smiling a bit, and people are getting back to life. And the restaurants are open, and it's such a machaya. I can't tell you. It's Baruch Hashem. You really appreciate things now. But I'll tell you something really nice. The listeners. Tel HaShomer was voted by Newsweek.
Sorry, I didn't hear you very clear. Say again. Tel HaShomer been voted.
Tel HaShomer in Sheba Hospital was voted by Newsweek the 9th best hospital in the world.
Sure. Baruch Hashem.
Major. That's like, wow.
That's a major news.
That's big. Hey? And by Newsweek, which isn't like the most pro publication, Israel pro publication, but they voted Sheba, which is part of Tel HaShomer, as one of the 9th best in the world, in the top 10 in the world. It's incredible.
Baruch Hashem. It's unbelievable, huh?
Yeah, and I just will tell you one last thing. A patient of mine told me in Canada, in Montreal, where her parents are, only her grandparents got the very first vaccine, and now they have to wait 3 months for the next one because there's not enough. And here, more than half, like 3/4 of the population have been vaccinated with both vaccines. So little Israel, looks after its people very well, and it includes Jews, Muslims, Christians, everybody. It's just unbelievable.
Sure. Unbelievable. Really. Baruch Hashem. It's amazing.
Rabbi,
it's really
good. We're so looking forward to your share.
Okay, guys, so בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח והשם עלינו ברחמיו וירוויח. I'm going to mute everyone. So not going to be any noise. So first of all, I would like to dedicate the show לעילוי נשמת אסתר קדן בת קציה, מרדכי בן רחמה, הרב אברהם חיים בן אליעזר יעקב, תמר בת זהבה, רחל בת מלכה סולטנה, רבקה לאה בת דוד, אסתר בת משה הלוי, חיים קלמן בן חיים קלמן. Okay. And now we're going to also dedicate the shiur in the health of Liora bat Miriam, Menashe Naji ben Farha, Orna Bluma bat Miriam, Harav Avraham ben Marina, Harav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Moshe ben Devora, Dvora bat Esther, Aviva Batia bat Sheina Kela, Moshe Meir ben Hana, Hana Sarah bat Devora, Shlomo Pinhas ben Sheina Fisha, Mordechai David ben Leah. Please God, refuah shlema to all of them, and we're going to start the show. So as I mentioned in a message, please have the Haggadot in front of you. But before that, I would like just to explain a few things before we start the Haggadah. I would like, first of all, for all of us to understand how important is it to read the Haggadah in Pesach. So Rabbi Aaron Levy born in the city of Gorondia in Spain. He born around 786 years ago. And he wrote like this. He wrote in his book called Sefer HaChinuch, in Sefer HaChinuch, Mitzvah 21, okay? Because he, instead of saying chapters, he called it Mitzvah 21. In Mitzvah 21, he said like this, Mitzvah lesaper be'inyan yetziat Mitzrayim belel tetvav benisan. What does it mean? It's a mitzvah, obviously, ve'higadeta lebincha beyom hahu. It's a positive command from the Torah to speak regard the exodus from Egypt on the 15th of Nisan. Kol echad kefi tzahut leshono. What it means? He said that everyone according to his ability to speak and to explain the exodus from Egypt. And what is it? Kedeh lehalel ve'leshabeach la'Hashem yitbarach. That means to praise the Almighty, okay? Al hanisim she'asa lanu sham. That means for the miracle that he made for us in Egypt. Ve'inyan hamitzvah. And now he explained what's hiding behind the mitzvah. שיזכור תמיד מה שהראו לאבותינו במצרים. ואיך הקדוש ברוך הוא נקם את נקמתו במצרים. That means that the main idea of speaking about the Exodus from Egypt is by that I have to remember how Akadosh Baruch Hu took revenge from the Egyptian. And then he add up and said, listen to that. וחייב להוציא הדברים מפיו. That means a person must talk about the Exodus and not just read the Haggadah. כדי שיתעורר ליבו בדבר. That means that when you read, your heart start to understand what you're talking about. And then he said, כי הדיבור. That means when you talk, יעורר את הלב. When you're talking about the Exodus, that's what's going to start the heart excitement. Before we start going to speak about the Haggadah, I would like to explain a little bit about the symbols that we have, because I think it's very important that we should understand what's happening on the Seder plate and why we have those certain symbols. I spoke to him a number of times and I brought all different opinions, but I would like again to go through them and to bring different idea. And we have to understand what's hiding behind every symbol in the Seder plate, because the Seder plate that we have look very simple. What we have in a Seder plate, we have the plate. We'll explain how the plate have to look. I'm going to bring now what Hazal explained. Then we have celery, we have the shank bone, we have the egg. After the egg, we have the maror and the hazeret. Maror and hazeret is the same. The three matzah that we have. And outside that, we have the salty water. And I would like to go through them to bring some opinion. So when you actually in Pesach sitting around the Seder Pesach, I would like you also to make notes of all of it, because that's very important for you to understand that you can say some of the Hidushim on Pesach night. So first of all, let's start with the plate. Hazal explained that Ke'arat Pesach, that means the Seder plates have to be a beautiful plate. And what's the secret behind it? Hazal explained that, as a matter of fact, the plate of the Seder is a symbol for prosperity. Not only that it's a symbol for prosperity, it's a remedy for Parnasa. So people that want Parnasa, people looking all the time for Parnasa, if you make the Seder plate, your Seder plate look beautiful, or you buy a beautiful Seder plate, you have to make sure that it looks beautiful, because it's a symbol for prosperity and it's a remedy for Parnasa. People that want Parnasa must make sure that their Seder plate look beautiful. Then we have a celery on the plate. What's hiding behind the celery? The Mefarshim explain that the letter Samech in the end of the word karpas, it's gematria 60. That it means it's come to represent to us that it's towards the 600,000 people that was in slavery in Egypt. That's karpas. Another explanation that hiding behind the word karpas, and Chazal explained that it's the garment that Yaakov Avinu made for Yosef HaTzadik. Because we know that the striped garment that Yaakov Avinu made to Yosef HaTzadik, that was caused jealousy amongst the tribe. And that's what caused Yosef to be sold as a slave, and later on Bnei Israel gone to Egypt, and after that, that's what's happened, that Bnei Israel become slave. And I was thinking about it, and when I was looking about that commentary, something came into me, and that's my personal commentary, and you don't have to take it. If you look at the celery also has stripes. And not for nothing, I think that Chazal mentioned that the celery represent the stripe on a garment of Yosef HaTzadik. Listen what Rabbi Manoah lived in the 13th century. He was obviously a Rishon, he lived in France, and he said like this, Da, you must know, Kisod achilat karpas, the secret behind eating karpas, that means the celery on Pesach, Usod hanitzachon, is, what's the secret behind it? It's the glory. That means that you can win on a war. And he continues to say, Ve'adam sherotze lenatzeach yuchal karpas. A person that wants to win, whatever is it, and every war that he have, must eat celery. So another explanation, that celery, a matter of fact, was the food that the kings used to eat. That was the nash, celery. And that's why we're trying to show that when we eat the celery, we like kings on that night. And we'll speak about that night soon. And we have the shenkbon. So we know that the shenkbon, it's in merit of Korban Pesach. That means that Korban Pesach, that Bnei Israel done when they left Egypt. So we leave it on a plate. We never eat from it. We never taste from it. It's to remind us the Korban Pesach that Bnei Israel done when they left Egypt. Okay? Also, Hazal explained, you know what is the shenkbon? The shenkbon actually, it's come to represent to us the stretch end, bezroa netuya. That means the stretch arm that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took Bnei Israel out of Egypt. And that's what the shenkbon. Then we have the egg. And we know that the egg is in honor of Korban Hagigah. Korban Hagigah is the festival offering. And Hazal explained that the main reason that we eat dafka egg in Pesach, it's to remind and to tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, here we're trying to tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the same like the egg, when you cook it, egg is one of the easier and the quickest thing to cook. So we're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu, look, how we eating that egg that cooked very quickly. Please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, don't forget. We're trying to reminding HaKadosh Baruch Hu to redeem us quickly, as soon as he can. That means to take us out of that exile that we are in. Another rayon that the Mefarshim bring, that as much that we cook the eggs harder, long time, it gets harder. As much that we leave the egg to get boiled, it gets much more harder. And Hazal said that from here you learn that as much as the exile getting longer, it's make Bnei Israel harder and stronger, okay? From all of those challenges that we have. So that's why we have the eggs. Then we have the lettuce, or what we call it, the chrein, that's the maror and the hazeret. What is the difference between lettuce and chrein? I explained in previous shiurim. Hazal and the Gemara say Gemara Masechet Pesachim asks, what you should eat at night of the Leil Seder. So Chazal say, chasa. What it means? Chasa, that's the lettuce. That's maror. Ma'i maror, chasa. That's what Chazal say. So you ask, so how come, where's the grain come from? I explained it in previous showrim. I just repeat it quickly. Chazal explained that the grain came from Europe. Why? Because in Europe, because it's winter, it's still winter at the moment, and they don't have strong sun. And lettuce to grow, you need a very strong and hot condition. So they couldn't find lettuce, so they had the grain, something better to remind them, because all the idea behind eating grain or maror, that's chasa, it's to remind us, that means that we have to remember. We must never forget what the wicked Egyptian, how they make our life misery while our fathers was in Egypt, that they put them through slavery, hard slavery in Egypt. Then we have the three matzah. The three matzah come to symbol our three forefathers, Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov Avinu. Other explanation is it's come to explain to the three different people that there is amongst the Jewish people, and that's Kohen, Levy, and Israel. Another explanation that Chazal say, you know why Dafka 3 and Dafka Matzot? When Avraham Avinu, after he done the Brit Milah, after his circumcision, he waited for visitors. And we know that no visitors come until HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent the angels. And when the angel come, Avraham Avinu said to his wife, Sarah Imenu, what did he say to her? Mahari lushi shalosh sa'im. What it mean, Mahari lushi shalosh sa'im? Quickly, bake. Okay? What do you mean quickly bake? Hazal explained, from here you learn that that day that Avraham Avinu was sitting and waiting for the angel, that was the third day for his milah, the third day for his circumcision, was Pesach. Although that Pesach was not a decree yet on the Jewish people, but Hazal tell us and explain to us that our forefather kept all the Torah and all the mitzvot. And Avraham Avinu knew that in the 15th of Nisan will be Pesach. So what did he say to his wife Sarah Imenu? Quickly, bake those cookies, okay? Because it was Pesach, so they couldn't eat bread. So they dished them with what we call today matzah. So in the merit of that Avraham Avinu made it for the angel, we merit to be redeemed, Hazal explained. That's why we put 3 matzot. Then we have the salty water, and Hazal explained that in merit of the tears of Bnei Israel Mitzrayim for all the hard work that they done and all the hard beating that they suffered in Egypt. Another explanation why salty water, to remind us that's for the tears that Bnei Israel crying, and we're still crying, okay, for the destruction of the temple. Another explanation, we know that water represents the Torah. So water represents, water also represents, it means mercy and compassion. So it's come to tell you that we have water, and then it tell you that you have salt. What it means, salt? Salt actually represent judgment. And it's come to tell you that the judgment, what do you do? How do you make it easier? By that we take in the karpas, okay, and we actually dipping it inside the water, okay? Once that we dip it in the water, it's actually what it's do, it's actually cancel all the judgment that there is on the Jewish people. So remember, when you have the salty water that you dip inside the karpas, you dip inside the eggs, it's come to remind us that there is mercy. Okay, the water is mercy, and the salt that represents judgment. When we take that egg or we take that celery and we dip it inside, it's to change the decrees on the Jewish people. Another explanation, we say that the karpas, the samech, is award the 600,000 men. Remember? But it was the 600 men that actually have now to circumcise, because Bnei Israel couldn't eat from Korban Pesach, because it says, "V'chol arel bo lo yuchal." A person that is uncircumcised cannot eat from Korban Pesach, that the Pesach sacrifice. So what happened? Bnei Israel didn't want to circumcise. They didn't want to do Brit Milah. What done HaKadosh Baruch Hu? He told Moshe Rabbeinu, make Korban Pesach. And when he made Korban Pesach, it's like a spit on a bride. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hazal say, Ichnis bo kol rechot shel Gan Eden. He brought inside that bride all the smell of Gan Eden. And everyone have a desire to eat from that lamb. So Moshe said to him, unfortunately, you can't eat from that. He said, why? Because he said, you're not circumcised. You want to eat from that lamb on one condition, circumcised. Hazal said that 600,000 people been circumcised. But it wasn't enough. They need to cleanse themselves because there was idol worshippers. So they're gone to the Nile. So when they're gone to the Nile, okay, they all dunk themselves. And the Nile actually become very cloudy from the blood. So by that we're putting the salt water on the table and we're dipping the beitza, that's awards korban Hagadah, that's the egg. And then we're dipping the celery, that's karpas. Okay, by that, they're trying to tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please HaKadosh Baruch Hu, remember how much we sacrifice, what we done in honor of you. For that Korban Pesach, in merit of that, redeem us. And then we have a very interesting thing that we do with the matzah. We take the matzah, the middle matzah from the 3 matzot, we take the middle matzah and we break it. But we don't break it to a half. We break it to unequal size. That means one size of the matzah must be bigger and one size of the matzah must be smaller. What's the idea behind it? So according to, we're going to do Pshat Remesh Dras Sodia, that on one idea, by that we're splitting into 2, it's to remind the Kadosh Baruch Hu, the same like you split the sea of reed for Bnei Israel when they came out of Egypt. Please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, remember also, make for us miracle to redeem us. And the idea is, the same like HaKadosh Baruch Hu shortened the time of Bnei Israel staying in Eretz Mitzrayim in Egypt, okay, from 400 to 210 years. Please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the same like you done it easily, you can change and redeem us quickly. I saw another explanation that brought by Rabbi David Aparhi. Rabbi David Aparhi explained that the main reason behind it, he explained according to the Pshat, just for us to understand, that the person that is a poor lo aleinu, that have a difficulty, what does he do? He eat a little bit now, and the rest he keep for later. He said that's what we do with the middle matzah. We eat part of it now, and the rest we keep as afikoman to remind us. But he said that's the way that the poor people usually do. Now I'm going to do it you gematria. We know that if you take the wood yachatz, the gematria of it is yud, het, tzadik. Tzadik is 90, yud is 10, together is 100. Plus het that it's 8, 108. Gematria of the word Gehenam is also 108. To tell us something very important, Rabbi, listen to it. And that's what you should have, the kavanah, when you do the yachatz, when you break the matzah, the middle matzah on Pesach. Hazal tell us that the secret behind it, that the person that break the matzah on Pesach, been redeemed from the judgment of Gehenna. Nitzol midina shel Gehenna. That means by that you break the middle matter, that helps you to be redeemed from the judgment of Gehenna. Now, before we start again, just with the explanation, I just want to explain who wrote the Hagadah. So according to what Hazal tell us in the Mishnah in Masechet Psachim, in chapter 10, we can learn that Hazal actually wrote it, but most probably, and most of the Mefarshim explain that it most probably been written by Hillel HaZaken. Remember Hillel? He written it. Okay, so let's start the Hagadah. I don't know how many of you have Hagadah next to him. Sorry, I forgot to take my Hagadah. I'm going to take my Hagadah here. And the Hagadah starts with Halachmania. And I will explain the Halachmania. Is anyone have Hagadah in the front of him? He must put just the hand. Louis, you have Hagadah? If you have Hagadah next to you, just unmute so you can read it in English, the translation. Okay. Louis, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's before the Kiddush or after the Kiddush?
After the Kiddush. That's Magid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Magid.
Okay.
This is the bread of affliction that our fathers ate on the land of Egypt. Whoever is hungry, let him come and eat. Whoever is needy, let him come and celebrate Passover. Now we are young, next year we may be in the land of Israel. Now we are slaves, next year may we be free men.
Okay, I'm going to read it in Aramaic.
Okay.
דאכלו אבתניה בהרעה דמצרים. כל דכפין יתה ויכול. כל דצריך יתה ויפסח. השתה הכה. לשנה הבאה בהרעה דישראל. השתה עבדה לשנה הבאה בנחורים. And if we look carefully, the Hagadah starts with Aramaic. And many of the Mefarshim ask, why is that? Why is the Hagadah dafka start with Aramaic? And then it's moved to Sfat HaKodesh. Sfat HaKodesh, it's Hebrew. We have to understand what's hiding behind it. Why is the Hagadah himself start in Aramaic? So Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra, I don't know how many of you know Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra. Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra, born in the city of Toledo in Spain. He born around 931 years ago. You can see that he was very close to Rashi. That means 70 or 69 years before the Geonim. I mean after the Geonim, sorry, not before, after the Geonim. And he explained that the main reason that the Hagadah start in Aramaic and then immediately move to Sfat HaKodesh, that's Hebrew, he explained because the common language that in that time people used to speak, it was Aramaic. And because Amei Haaretz is the simple people that couldn't speak Sfat HaKodesh, they couldn't speak Hebrew, to inspire them, what did they done? What is Hillel done? He wrote the Hagadah in Aramaic, to start with Aramaic, to inspire them to start reading the Hagadah with Aramaic. That means that the main reason that we start in Aramaic, it's to inspire Amei Haaretz to read the Hagadah, because otherwise they'll say, no, I can't read it. Other explanation that we have to understand, if you look here, it starts Halachmania. This is the poor man bread. Lahma, and this is the poor man bread. I'm translating Aramaic to English. Okay? And then it's end up Leshana Ba'a Benehorim. And for next year, we're going to be a free people. What is the connection between poor man bread to free people? We have to understand. So I'm going to do with you a little bit of explanation on a deep side of it, what's hiding behind it. Rabotai, focus with me, and if you don't understand, just put a hand, just flick a mark, and I'll stop, and then you can ask question. Hazal explained to us and telling us that this is the poor man bread, that our forefathers, when there was in Egypt, that's what they eat. And we have to understand what's hiding behind all of it. So the Mefarshim explain like this. If you look all year around, we are eating as much as we want bread. Those people that can eat bread, that it's healthy for them, that not suffering from nothing. Not only that, we obligated to respect the bread. That means if you see bread on the floor, you should kiss it and pick it up and put it on the side that no one will walk over it, because we obligate to respect it. Hazal say, look, once a year, for 7 days, that's in Eretz Israel, in the diaspora, obviously it's 8 days, you're not allowed to eat bread. What is it? What's happening here? Hazal explained that here the Hagadah come to teach us a life direction for life, to teach us something so important that we have to understand what's hiding behind the bread and the freedom. We know that Hazal explained that a person can enjoy himself, can spoil himself. But Hazal tell us, and it's a mitzvah from the Torah tells us that once a year, for 7 days, you should not eat hametz. That means Hazal come to tell us 7 days a year, only 7 days a year, or in diaspora 8 years, you should not eat bread. Why? It said that it come to teach you a self-control. What it means, a self-control? All year around, we're allowed to enjoy, we're allowed to spoil ourselves. He said, once a year, take a break. See that you're in control. That means that you have the self-control over your desire. Not only over your desire, over your lust. That means whatever you enjoy, you're allowed to do it. But once a year, take a week, that you're going to be in control. And why? To see if you can control your desire. And Hazal come to tell us, when a person can't control his desire, we know that will lead to destruction. So Hazal come and tell us that once a year, I'm giving you 7 days a week that you can control your desire, that you work how to conquer your evil inclination that you have on you on those 7 days. That means to teach us a self-control. And now we can understand why Dafka 7 days. But what does that have to do with freedom? Hazal explained, who's a free man? A person that have to follow his desire, or a person that can control his desire? Hazal say a person that can control his desire is a free man. And explaining the Mefarshim, that's what Hazal come to tell us here in Hagadah. The connection is, nachon that the Torah, it's a mitzvah from the Torah not to eat, bread on Pesach. But it's also Bnei Horim. What it means, Bnei Horim? Who's a free man? A person that can overcome his desire. Whatever kind of a desire is it. If you can control your desire, you're a free man. Then you know that what you've done mean free. And that's the secret here. Hazal explained to us, Halahman, this is the bread that poor people eat. Leshana ba bnei horim. How can you be a free man by that you can control your desire? What was the desire? That Bnei Israel, when there was in Egypt, know that what led them to all of that situation, that they followed the desire. And that's what led them later on to become slaves. So the message here to us, once a year, we need bread. Why? Because that's the key to teach us self-control. I want to add up a small thing. I don't know how many of you remember in 1982. 1982, no, I'm wrong. 1986. No. 1988, sorry, 1988. And 1988, yes, 1988. The first intifada started in Eretz Israel, the first intifada. Chazal explained, and many of the Mefarshim explain, you know what caused it? Okay, because we have Sar Chinuch שלא היה כל כך smart, wasn't such a smart, לא היה כל כך נבון, wasn't such a clever person, לא היה כל כך נבון. And what's happened? He wanted to integrate all the religions together. But behind it, it was a story that, you know, that what we have today, the Reshut HaParlamentarit, the PLO, that they started actually the Intifada. How's it started? That one of the leaders was sitting on a jail in Pesach, and he saw that one of the guys that working in a jail, one of the Jewish guy that working there, and his duty, he suddenly see that a Jewish guy, one of the officers there, taking a loaf of bread, actually it's a pita, and eating a pita. And that terrorist was surprised. He know that the Jewish people not allowed to eat bread, unleavened bread, in Pesach. So how come you eating? So he asked that guy that work in a jail, in a prison, and he said to him, listen, I don't understand. Do you know that it's Pesach to you? He said, yes, this is our festival. He said, tell me, if that's Pesach for you and you're not allowed to eat bread, how come that you're eating Pesach? That stupid officer, you know what he answered him? He said, that Pesach, it was many years back. And he said, if that was many years back and the Jewish people don't keep their religion, that means they're not going to succeed, because he was willing to give up terrorism, he said. In his book, he wrote, what caused that terrorist to continue to grow up the PLO? It's because a Jewish person eat a pita on Pesach. That was his word. Now I understand what is Pesach. Let's continue. Later on it says, מה נשתנה הלילה הזה מכל הלילות? Louis, בכבוד.
Why is this night different from all other nights? On all other nights, we may eat chometz and matzah, but on this night, only matzah. Do you want me to do the whole lot, Rabbi?
All the four, yeah.
All the four questions. And on all other nights, we will eat many vegetables, but on this night, we will eat maror. On all other nights, we do not dip even once, but on this night, twice. On all other nights, we'll eat either sitting or reclining, but on this night, we will all recline.
Okay. Here we see that there's four questions that usually the kids ask. And if person, Hazal tell us, if a person doesn't have kids, and it's him and his wife, and it's very applicable now to the corona, the wife asks. The wife should ask all of those questions. She must ask the husband. If a person is by himself at home, he should ask those questions. So according to the Pshat, מה נשתנה הלילה הזה? What it means, why is that night different from all other nights? So if you look, especially told Louis to read the four questions, because in those four questions, Hazal explained to us that the main reason behind it, that Hazal explained that the Torah in Sefer Shmot, in Parashat Vayera, in chapter 6, verses 6 and 7, there the Torah tells us about four different ways that HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided to redeem us. So number one, Ve'otzeti, I took you out of Egypt. And then it says, Ve'etzalti, different language. Now I saved you. And then Ve'ga'alti, I redeem you. And then Ve'lakahti, that I took you out to become a nation. כנגד ארבעה לשונות. That means that there's 4 words that represent the redemption. 4 לשונות של גאולה. The 4 words, how הקדוש ברוך הוא redeemed us from Egypt. That's basically why it's the 4 שאלות, the 4 questions that we have. But according to the sod, the secret behind it, why do we say מה נשתנה הלילה הזה? And I'm going to ask you a very valid question that many of the מפרשים ask, many of the commentary. We say מה נשתנה הלילה הזה. Why we don't ask מה נשתנה הלילה הזה in Sukkot, that we go out of our house, we go to a temporary house, and we move all our food, all our cutlery, the best chair, the best table, everything must be the best on the table, and dafka on a sukkah. Why in Sukkot you don't ask מה נשתנה הלילה הזה? How come that on Pesach you ask מה נשתנה הלילה הזה? Why? Because we eat matzah. There's many other, in Rosh Hashanah we also eat. We eat apple dipped in honey, other kind of symbols that we do on Rosh Hashanah. But we never say מה נשתנה. Only on Pesach. Why dafka מה נשתנה? What different that night from other night? And here comes the major key. I explained it once before, but I never gone into depths. And tonight, I will go into depths and for you to understand. By the way, that question been asked by many of the Mefarshim and the Zohar HaKadosh, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he didn't write the Zohar, it's Rabbi Abba that wrote the Zohar, his student. But Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai asked in the Zohar that question, and the answer go like this. I'll explain that in Leil HaSeder, Sha'arei Shamayim Ptuchim. What does it mean? On Pesach night, all the gates in heaven are open. And we know that Hazal tell us, Kol HaSha'arim, all the gates in heaven are closed all year around, except one gate, Sha'arei Dimah. Sha'arei Dimah lo nin'alu. That's what Hazal said. It's come to tell you on Pesach night, on Leil HaSeder, all the gates in heaven are open. And we, those that say it and do know to mekaven, to think about it, they should say, מה נשתנה הלילה הזה? Why that night, Pesach night, all the gates in heaven open, like not all the other night? What different this night from all the other night? That dafka in this night, that it's Leila Pesach, all the gate in heaven open. That's why we're asking one ishta. What's the secret behind it? It's the secret behind it that by that we're asking, מה נשתנה הלילה הזה? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell all the angel in heaven, shush, I don't want to hear you. Tonight, my children talking. Tonight, my children praising me. Tonight, my children glorifying me. I don't want to hear any other angel. My children down on earth now talking. Now it's the time for them. Say Hazal, something extraordinary. Hazal say in the Zohar. Hazal say that the power of that night, it's so strong that that night is so important that it can bring the Geula. By that we asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what different that night? It's to remind HaKadosh Baruch Hu that this night the heaven is open, and we asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu to remind them that please redeem us. So in a merit of that night, we can be redeemed. And Hazal tell us in a Gemara in Maseret Psahim, Benisan nig'alu. That means in a month of Nisan, HaKadosh Baruch Hu redeems our father from Egypt, took us from slavery to freedom. Benisan atidim ligael. Hazal say in Nisan, for the future, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will redeem us. And that's the secret of מה נשתנה הלילה הזה. And listen what the Ran. Haran is Rabbeinu Nisim. Rabbeinu Nisim, Ben Reuven Gerondi. he born around 706 years ago, plus minus, in a city of Barcelona in Spain. And he said like this: when a person sits on the Seder night and he read the Hagadah and he tell the story of the Hagadah to his children, to the member of the family, to his grandchildren, to his wife, to whoever, what did he say? Mechaprim lo al avonotav. That means when you tell the story of the Exodus, it's doing atonement for all your averot. And bechol shana v'shana, and every year and year. Okay? Listen to that. And that time, that means Leila Seder and Pesach night. Okay? Kechol she'adam marbe, as much that a person continue to praise the Almighty, that's what we start with the beginning, that we say with Rabbi Aaron Levy. Remember? Here is Rabbi Nisim. He said, we're praising the Almighty bring down the prosperity, parnasa, wealth, and health to every human being for all year. Why? Because sha'arei shamayim ptuchim, they have the gates of heaven are open, and by that you're praising and you glorifying HaKadosh Baruch Hu, listen to that, what he say, you can bring, a person can bring the Exodus. That means we ourselves can redeem ourselves. That means if we take Leila Seder seriously, and we praise and we glorify the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and we ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please remember, the same like you, redeem our father from Egypt, please redeem us. We also in sorrows. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will redeem us. That's the Zohar HaKadosh, and brought also by Hazar. Not only that, we say, Vaitz'aku b'nei Israel el Adonai. The Jewish people scream to the Almighty, and then what the next thing it says? Vayanhu min avodah. If we will scream that Pesach, this coming Pesach night, Rabotai, not to scream, to shout, no. To scream is mean to say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, enough. We suffered enough for your sake. We want to see the Mashiach. We want to see your house built, that you going to start sleeping in your own house. What it means sleeping about Bet HaMikdash. Not that HaKadosh Baruch Hu need to sleep, Chas v'shalom. En lo guf ve'en lo dmut haguf. He doesn't have a body and he doesn't have an image of a body. But it's to wake up the Shekhinah, to wake up the Holy Spirit, and to say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please HaKadosh Baruch Hu, build Bet HaMikdash. And if HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring Bet HaMikdash, we're going to be redeemed. And then not going to be any more problem, not going to be any more tzoros, no sick people, no poverty in the world. That's what we should be mekaven manishtana alayla hazeh. And that's what's hiding, Rabotai, behind the word manishtana alayla hazeh. Why is that night is different from all the other night? Because all the gates in heaven are open. When I say gates, I are referring to the gates of Shlom Bait, the gates of Parnasa, the gates of health, the gates of prosperity, the gates of health for everyone. Those what we're talking. The gates that we can remember what we're learning. The gates that a person shouldn't have any tzarot in life. That's what we must ask in that night. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please send Mashiach so you can bring down Bet HaMikdash. So you'll have your own house back. And if that's going to happen, Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu then going to redeem us. Then we're not going to have any more sorrows. I'm going to stop here. Next Sunday we'll do more. if there is any question, I'm going to give now time. I'm sure that you have a lot of questions regarding what we speak, and I try to answer Be'ezrat Hashem. Bechavod. If anyone have any question, please unmute yourself and ask question regarding what we read in the Hagadah.
Hello, it's Anthony.
Shalom Aleichem, Mr. Anthony.
We say in Avinu Malkeinu, also open the gates of heaven to our prayers. In Avinu Malkeinu, we also ask for it.
But we don't, the difference is the day that we open the gates to listen to our prayer. But here all the gates in heaven are open. So that means if we daven properly, if we ask properly, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will listen, and there is a better chance that he will answer. Because when the gate is closed, we still have to open that gate. That means that the tefillah reach up to the gate, just for us an analogy to understand, but it doesn't have a guarantee that it will penetrate through the gate. On Pesach night, the difference is, Anthony, it's a very, very valid question, very good question. In Pesach night, that all the gate is open, we don't have a problem that our tefillah are going to go up to heaven. This is guaranteed. The problem is, how are we davening? How are we asking? And that's what we're saying, Manishtana Laila, that in our power to change everything. Why? Because the heavens gate are open. And that's what different that night from all other night. That in our hand is the key in that night, in this night. What it means this night? Leila Seder, to change ourselves from slave to become free men. Not only free men physically, also free men spiritually, that we don't have the evil inclination on us. That entices us to do averot. You understand?
Yes, thanks very much.
Pleasure. Any other question, Rabotai?
Yes, so on Sukkot, you're saying that the gates are not open.
No. Orna, I didn't say that. I say that all the time the gates are closed, except one gate, Sha'arei Dima. Sha'arei Dima is the gate of tears. When a person cries, okay, he can open the gate. And that will help the tefillah to go up to heaven. If a person cries to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and he drops some tears, and that's what I'll tell us a secret, that on Yom Kippur, when you daven, should I say it? Shouldn't I say it? I'll say it. Hazal tell us, Nachon, that they tell us that when you pray, you should cry a little bit. Say, Ari HaKadosh bring it in the name of the Zohar. When a person feels suddenly on Yom Kippur that he want to cry, he must know that's in Rosh Hashanah, sorry, on Rosh Hashanah, not on Yom Kippur. When he feel like crying, because we're not allowed to cry on Rosh Hashanah, and if he feel like that he want to cry, listen to that, he know that in that moment, he been judged up in heaven. So what's happening? Now I'm going to go back to what we're speaking. Hazal explained to us that there is here a secret. The gate in heaven, all the 50 gates, Hamshim, Sha'arim Ptuhim, all the gates are open. You want to bring prosperity, that's the night. In Sukkot, Sha'arei Dima Ptuhim, not all the other gates. You follow?
Yeah, that makes it clearer.
Okay.
And then you're saying that on Yom Kippur, like the other guy said with the Avinu Malkeinu, there is no guarantee that you're davening.
Nothing is guaranteed. We learned that from Parshat HaShavua. You remember we spoke. When Moshe Rabbeinu gone for the third time to Mount Sinai, it says in Sefer Dvarim, what does it say there? When Moshe Rabbeinu, after 40 days and 40 nights, on the third time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Salahti ki dvarecha. I forgive that nation because you praise to me, because you daven to me. What does it mean? Hazal constitute that day, from that time, everyone in the order of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He told Moshe Rabbeinu that Yom Kippur gonna be a day of atonement to the Jewish people. Why? Because that day is a special day that we can do atonement. Because Moshe Rabbeinu done atonement for the Jewish people for the sin of the golden calf. Okay? But there is no guarantee. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Orna, if you're not sure, ask. I will explain. Because it doesn't look to me like you're 100% sure. Okay. So let me explain.
All right.
Based,
Let me say it like this then. What you're saying is that all year round, שערי דמעה לא ננעלו, right? That's all year round.
yeah,
The
I'm listening.
the gate of tears are not closed all year round, but the other gates are closed.
That's right.
So the whole year round, you're saying that the gates of Parnassah and health and Shlom Bayit, those gates are closed.
Nachon. So how you open them all year? Ask me
So
that.
how
That's
do
what.
I open it the whole year?
Oh,
How do I open
Very good. Very good.
my Parnassah? How do I open my health, my Shlom Bayit, etc., etc.,
Not
all
only that,
year round,
your
just
luck.
by crying and davening?
Your luck. Your luck. How's a person opening his luck? You know? Hazal say that because that the destruction of the temple, when people used to go to the temple, HaKadosh Baruch Hu used to listen to our davening and the korbanot, and the world was full of prosperity. And the entire world would benefit from it. Afilu 70 umot ha'olam. That means the 70 nations of the world. Not only that, Hazal say in the Gemara, that ilu hayu yodaim, if the 70 nations knew what benefit they getting, they would never destroy the Beit HaMikdash. But after that, after the destruction, there is anger in the world. That means astarat panim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu kind of that hide his face from us. He hide from us. So what's happening here? When a person wants to daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to receive something, he have to daven from the bottom of his heart. You have to cry, you have to daven, you have to pray, you have to pledge, you have to beg to receive. The difference is on Pesach night, the gate is open. We don't have to daven, we don't have to pledge, we don't have to beg to open those gates of Parnassah. Everything is open. The tefillah goes straight. The difference is how you do it. Do you understand what I'm saying? The chokhmah is to daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu at that night. That when you're saying Man Ishtana, to think clearly, all the gate is open tonight. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you reveal to us through your great sage, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the gate is open. In yourself, while you're sitting, say HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please open my luck. Please send me health. Please send me wealth. Please send me briut. Please send me simchat hayim. Whatever you want, you ask on that night. You follow, Orna?
Yeah, much better now. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Toda.
That means that the gate is open. You don't have to battle to open gate. That means that you have a direct line on that night. If you want me to put it this way, you understand what I'm saying?
Can much
The
better.
connect.
Much better.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Pleasure. Any other question, Rabotai? No question. Okay. So I would like to take the opportunity to wish you all a beautiful week, beautiful coming week. Keep safe, keep healthy, and B'ezrat Hashem will meet together on Thursday on Parashat HaShavua. Wish you all nights and all the best. See you on Thursday, B'ezrat Hashem. Louis, thank you very much for reading for us.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Rav.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Rav. Shavua Tov. Shavua Tov.
Tov u'mbrach to everyone. Kol Tuv.
Thank you.
Shavua tov.
Bye. Thank you.